Hello and welcome to Dad Got This, where we answer the tough questions like, can a $5 steak be any good? And what's a cow's favorite method to catch criminals? That second one's easy, a stakeout. That's right, we are gonna try to cook a $5 steak and see if we can make it amazing. What I have here is a bacon-wrapped beef tenderloin from Wild Fork. I wanna thank Wild Fork for providing these steaks. I am a little confused by the labeling. They just say beef tenderloin, but in my understanding, beef tenderloin is the whole thing. When you cut steaks out of it like this, that's filet mignon. So this is filet mignon? Am I right? If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments, but I think I'm right. Probably wrong. Whatever it is, it's $5 for one of these at Wild Fork, and we are gonna try and make it delicious. First things first, we gotta open it up. The softer plastic is at the back, like a nice little meat cupcake. Oh, they got these little things on there to hold the bacon on. That's pretty cool. For seasoning, I'm gonna keep this dead simple. A little bit of salt. I'm using Himalayan salt. A little bit of cracked pepper. And some dad dust. 50% granulated garlic, 50% granulated onion. Splash of MSG. For the bacon part, I'm just gonna hit it with dad dust. I'm not gonna salt the bacon. I don't know how salty it may or may not be. These are now seasoned and ready to go on my Ninja Woodfire. I'm gonna use my Ninja Woodfire for this cook because it's dead simple and super easy to use. Let's set it up. Grab your pellet hopper and fill it all the way to the top. This helps with ignition, in my opinion. Now, take it. Vigorously shake it from side to side. That is the dad shake. The dad shake either compacts the pellets and makes it burn better, separates the pellets and gives it lots of air and makes it burn better, or does absolutely nothing and just makes me feel like it burns better. I still do it every time. Take it. Smoker. Temp. We're going all the way down to cold. Time 30. Normally I would say let these rest for like an hour in the fridge, uncovered, let the salt penetrate, reabsorb back into the steak, kind of a dry brine situation. But because we're cold smoking, I think we're just gonna be fine with all that happening while it's in the cold smoke. In my experience, while things are in that cold smoke, they kind of dry out. Everything that I want to happen, happens. So I'm just gonna go stick these on the grill. I am going to use my elevated rack so we get a little bit of airflow around them. Let's go get them on the grill. Let's talk steak temperature. Medium rare, or your tool, right? Not exactly. Different steaks take different temps. This filet, in my opinion, is better closer to rare. A ribeye is better medium rare, closer to medium, because you really want to render the fat that's inside that steak. Otherwise, it can become chewy and not as delicious. Now, what temperature is rare? That will depend on who you are, where you look, what's on the internet, and what you think. I've been yelled at because I say that medium rare is 134. I've been told that that's well done. I don't know who those people are, but in my opinion, you're wrong. When I cook to 134, I cut it open. It is a beautiful, bright, reddish pink. That is not well done to me. Well done is gray and shoe leather. So for this one, we're gonna pull a little earlier than I normally pull my steaks. We're gonna shoot for a 125 Fahrenheit final temp on our steak. The game plan is to cook it at this cold smoke temperature for 30 minutes. Then we're gonna raise our temperature to 200 degrees Fahrenheit and take it the rest of the way, all the way up to 105 degrees Fahrenheit. Take it, set it aside. Set our grill to high with our griddle plate in there, as high and hot as it gets. On this wood fire, I have been able to get over 500 degrees Fahrenheit on my griddle plate, which is going to give me a very nice crust. Because I'm at that lower temp, it's not gonna raise as much as it would, say, if I cooked at 350, where you could easily carry over 10 to 15 degrees while your steak is resting. I might get 5 or 10 if I'm lucky on my carryover. Now, I do have 2 steaks, so I'm gonna do a little experiment. I'm gonna pull one at 95 degrees Fahrenheit and one at 105 Fahrenheit and set them aside, then do the sear. And we'll see which one comes up to a better rare temperature. Now all we have to do is wait for our 30-minute cold smoke to be over. Now it's almost time to take those out of the smoker. I wanna let you know, cold smoke does not mean absolutely no heat. Your meat's not going to get hotter. When those went into the smoker, they were probably around 40 degrees Fahrenheit. They are now reading between 80 and 83 degrees. They have significantly come up in temp. That is because it's warmer out here. It's almost 80 degrees outside here. And there is still some heat being generated by those pellets burning and the airflow and everything. So it's going to raise the temp of your meat. It is not dead cold. So don't think that because you're using cold smoke, the meat temperature is not going to raise. So we're not going to need too much time under our new 200 Fahrenheit temp to reach our 2 target temps. I didn't really have to take them off the grill. I could have just left them in there and changed the temp, but I wanted to move them, wipe any of that juices that had dropped down, because it's going to make our sear a little bit easier later to not have any of that stuff on the griddle plate. So just flip them over so we get good smoke on both sides, set it to 200, and we'll rock these until they hit their temps. This should not take that long. But now is a great time to whip up a quick blender hollandaise sauce. Let's go do that. For this, we need 3 egg yolks, just the yolks. Set those aside. Grab yourself a little bowl. 1 whole stick of butter. Go melt it in the microwave. These go into a container. I like to use a mason jar because it's absolutely perfect size for what I want to do. I should have just put the yolks directly into the mason jar. Stick blender in the mason jar. Butter. Slowly in there. Pinch of salt. A little bit of black pepper. 2 tablespoons or less, depending on how tangy you like your sauce, of lemon juice. The rest of your butter. Optional, hot sauce. This is a peach habanero hot sauce that I made myself. Couple dashes. Give it a taste. Maybe an extra pinch of salt. More hot sauce. It's perfect. 10 minutes. That's all it took for the first one to come up to our 95 Fahrenheit temp. I left the second one in there. We'll let that one go to 105, and then it's time to get ready to sear. Just to demonstrate how real carryover cooking is, the one outside of the grill is only running 1 degree below the one inside the grill. So yeah, carryover cooking is real. We are just about ready to take the other one out, and it's only been about 3.5 minutes.
Honestly, not much difference in temp between the two. Let's get it off, take the rack out, and give it another clean, because we want this really nice and clean for when we do our high heat sear. To do that, we're gonna go ahead and set this to grill high. Set your time to about whatever you want, as long as it's more than 10 minutes.
They look pretty good. A little moist, we're gonna dab them off.
When you are drying them, make sure you're not pressing too hard. You don't want to squeeze any juices out. You just want to get surface moisture off them. Then I put them in a sandwich of paper towels to let them dry.
We're just gonna let those rest while the grill comes up to temp. But we're already at 108 on one of them, and we're shooting for like a 120, 125-ish. So we're getting close.
After about a 10-minute preheat, it is time to go ahead and sear these off.
Spray down a little beef fat, a little on the steaks.
Then go ahead and get them on there, and then give them a little bit of a press. I should have had some steak weights to really keep some pressure down on these to get a great crust, but they should still turn out pretty good otherwise. Now, let them go for a few minutes on the side, probably about 1.5 minutes, and then give them a little bit of beef fat, and then flip them to a new portion of the griddle. Because if you flip them right into the same spot they were, that spot's not as hot as it was because all the meat had soaked out the heat from it. Keep pressing them down and flipping them. At this point, I just took the probes out because I really wasn't worrying about the temp. It was more about getting a good crust. Once it had a crust, I was willing to stop. It took about 3 minutes total sear for both sides to get to a nice temp on these.
10, 22. All right, that guy is ready for some side searing.
In total, I side seared the bacon for about 2 minutes, rolling them around. That was for both of them.
About perfect to me. Those look phenomenal to me. Let's see what temps we hit at the end. 126, 115. We only need these to rest for like 3 or 4 minutes. It's been a couple minutes. Let's slice these down the middle, see how we did. Looks about perfect to me. As the air hits them, they will blush more and become more red. But let's go ahead and plate one up. Yeah, the one pulled earlier is better. Pull them at 95. You're gonna get a much rarer steak. I mean, this is not overcooked, but it's definitely not where I would want my filet. Speaking of that, let's at least taste a piece. Cheers. Oh man, wow. So tender, so beefy, smoky. And that sauce. Oh man. Let's say if you went to a steakhouse and you ordered that, that's at least 35 bucks, maybe $50 steak, depending on how badly the steakhouse wants to overcharge you. Fantastic. In wrap up, pull it at 95, sear it till it's got color, make your sauce. You are going to have an amazing steak experience. Funny little note, we were talking about going to one of my favorite steakhouses here in Orlando, Charlie's Steakhouse, and the wife goes, your steak's better. I have ruined my favorite restaurant. I've become good enough at cooking steaks that now going to a fancy steakhouse is an extreme waste of money. It's just convenience, the fact that I don't have to cook it, but I can make way better steaks at home for way less money. And I kind of enjoy cooking, so bonus all around. This recipe will be on my website, like just about all of my recipes. That website, dadgotthis.com. Go check it out. I think you're gonna like it. If you are enjoying this content, please do the likey subscribe stuff. YouTube loves it when you leave a like. I love it when you leave a comment. I answer just about every comment in my comment section. If you really want to support this channel, consider becoming a member. You're going to get shout outs, producer credits, all kinds of fun stuff, early access to videos. But if you can't, please just subscribe. It would really help me out. I'm closing in on 30,000 and I'd like to hit that faster than later. That's not the way you say that. Also, if you're like, gosh, I really wish that there was just one simple way to get a bunch of Dad's best recipes for the Woodfire, guess what? There will be. I have a cookbook coming out. It should be coming out pretty soon. I'm putting the final touches on it and looking for a printer right now. With all that out of the way, I guess there's only one question left to answer. Why are cows always poor? Because the farmer milks them dry. Yeah, pretty bad. Dad may tell horrible dad jokes, make steaks better than any steakhouse you could go to. But one thing Dad will never do is an outro. So that's it. Bye.
This is the part where I thank all of my members. You guys are the absolute best. Thank you so much for your support and rock on. I don't know why I said rock on, but rock on.